The Home Office and Rishi Sunak both say that they're ready to roll out the Rwanda plan and to apply this deterrent that will stop the small boats. Well, of course, but that's rhetoric, and all they're ready for is the rhetoric, because it turns out today in a secret document that has been drafted that the Home Office hasn't got the number of ready lawyers, the ready solicitors on hand to push through this measure when it comes to it. So it's probably only got enough solicitors to push through a handful of cases, even if it manages to defy the European Court of Human Rights, even if it manages to defy the will of half the House of Commons and the House of Lords. This is a Pyrrhic victory by the best definition of that concept. King Pyrrhus took an army across to southern Italy and fought valiantly and won against the huge number of Roman troops, but he brought with him elephants and soldiers from what is now modern-day Albania. And by the time he'd secured victory, he was down to the last few troops that he'd got left. But he's nevertheless won out by sheer determination. Now, unfortunately, Rome could go back to Rome and restock its troops and come back down and destroy him. He fled to Syracuse because there was no hope. All his troops were stuck in Albania. And that is the concept of a Pyrrhic victory. It may have been a victory in terms of winning on the battlefield, but in terms of the longer the longer campaign, it was doomed. It was doomed. And he may have been brave, and he may have been defiant, but in the end, Rome was the greater power. We don't go around the place talking about the might that was Albania, except, of course, Suella Braverman. And do you see how these two topics beautifully enmesh? You can remember Suella Braverman standing at the dispatch box, banging on the dispatch box and saying, "Invader! Invader!" and refusing to apologize. As we look at the king of Epirus, and we can think of Crown Prince Leka, who said, and I quote, he said about Suella Braverman that she was purely xenophobic, demonizing his country for political gain, that this was disproportionate slander, that it was purely xenophobic. And yet Suella Braverman didn't have the grace to apologize to a member of the aristocracy. She didn't have that grace because she was so defiant, she was so determined to bang on, to bang her dispatch box, so much banging and no substance. And in the end, all that banging, where has it got her? Where has it got her? It's got her nowhere, because the government, all it can do is claim at the very most a Pyrrhic victory. And that defiance, it's on the other foot, isn't it? The boot is on the other foot in this particular case, because it doesn't really matter how defiant is the Home Office, how defiant is Rishi Sunak, how defiant was Suella Braverman. In the end, this Rwanda desperation, even if there's a plane that takes off with 5 or 6 captives in it, this is a Pyrrhic victory. No more.